hotel obi.
No, Nana, Hobby. As a matter of fact, I know it was an open event, but Hobby.
What personal reason to our uncle?
No, not at all. I mean, I would have loved to be there. And I was there. Yadi and Hoko say low mukakra, yeah, not an apandra or client to be trying or baby. And so I couldn't be there, not because I had any issues against the event. I mean, it was a good event, especially the representation from the government of the day. It spoke volumes of government's preparedness to back the Football Association to achieve more.
And for you, as an administrator, what does it mean to you, the football people, especially that announcement of 1 million Ghana cedis for each of the 18 Premier League clubs?
It means a lot. However, I would have wished that the amount of money that is coming to the football clubs would have come to us as a result of Ejumadin and Anaya and the right structure that we've put in place, and that we know because of these works, that is why corporate Ghana is showing so much interest in us. As we speak now, we understand it is a collaboration between the Ghana Football Association and APL, and it is the reason why we are seeing this kind of money. Other people believe that it is the government of the day, led by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, who has decided that as part of my campaign promise to Ghanaians and to the football-loving public, and until now we are seeing this kind of investment in the game. Remember, it is TV right. And I think in the era of Kwesi Nyantakyi, we saw something similar to what we are seeing today. And so there's still a lot more work to do to ensure that on our own we'll be able to attract, corporate support and not always having to rely on government of the day. Government, remember, is doing so much for the Football Association in terms of national team football and in terms of provision of infrastructure for us to play our game.
Ralph, now, Mimuso, have you guys questioned the source of the fund, like you said? And I say, Mudasaba.
You wouldn't want to question it. I mean, we understand that it's a collaboration between APL and then the Ghana Football.
And how sustainable is it?
That is the big question. I think that is the question that we need to interrogate. And we also need to ask ourselves, how long is this contract running? I am not privy to the information. I'm sure perhaps maybe other people may have that information. But, I mean, it is a good start. And I want to believe that with APL coming in, if we're able to do things more professionally from what we've done over the years, perhaps maybe it will be the way of opening up for corporate Ghana now to begin to have trust in our products. That is the league football.
Ralph, yeah, that's it. And so we're hoping that our league will be exciting on TV, clubs to enjoy. But yeah, that's sorry. Yeah, one news that is overtaking the airwaves is the proposal to have a GFA president run for 3 terms, a proposal to have 2 vice presidents, one a female, and a rejected proposal of expanding the executive council from 12 to 22. Your general thoughts on this development, because Muko Congress Wednesday in same way na Muko Akobrobroso.
Nana, so I tell you what, my concerns and promptings are practical necessity in a period where there's public disinterest, mistrust, and disappointment in the activities of the Ghana Football Association and its products. I mean, when I mean by its products, I mean league football and national team football. I mean, you look at our game and you realize that this unfortunate state that we find ourselves in has made it fact that stakeholders are struggling to protect their investments and also harness the massive potential that the game offers. And Anna, where we are today as a football association, we got here because of Enyamadiana SEC before. You recall that the number 12, that's the announcers led to FIFA constituting a normalization committee. And when FIFA did that, they then came in and said that the 2005 statute that we're operating under, for which Mr. Nyantechi and other executive council members had operated under, which was seen as one of the best in Africa. FIFA felt at the time that it was not fit for purpose. And so the normalization committee were tasked, and was led by the brilliant Naodofoli. They were tasked to put together a new statute. Now, this statute, which was promulgated, widely accepted, and rolled out as a guide to restoring the fortunes of the game, instituted 2 terms as a tenure for the president. And this was in reflection of the Constitution of Ghana. And we felt that it was a long enough time for any leader to transform the game. Now, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you why the 2 terms is a long enough time for any leader to transform the game.
But the own person chance, CAF and FIFA has got 3 terms. So why not the domestic federations?
Nana, when people make that argument, I find it to be a straw argument. Why is it a straw argument? It's a straw argument because when the statute of 2019 was being promulgated, right, and when everything was sent to FIFA, FIFA knew very well that we had decided to peg our tenure to 2 terms. And remember, it is not a mandatory clause to say that you must align with CAF and FIFA. Now, in other jurisdictions, some associations are running 2 terms. And so that argument is a very weak one to say that because CAF and FIFA are doing the same, we should necessarily also align at this moment in time. Now, I'm saying that we have come from an era where we thought that someone has stayed in office for a very long period of time, and so therefore the person had become sort of, for want of a better word, power drunk. And so we wanted to move away from that. Now remember, at the time, in 2005, the statute then did not have a time limit or a tenure ceiling where you could say that, oh, you've exceeded the tenure which has been given to you. And so why did we complain back then? Now today, we had a time to consult broadly, speak to all the stakeholders, and decided that, listen, we're going to come up with a new statute, which is the 2019 statute. And in there, you have to say the tenure of office of the president should be 2. It is not out of inadvertence, because indeed, for the executive council members and the regional football association chairman, specifically the 2-3, president in 2. Like I said, we wanted something which would reflect that of the Constitution of Ghana. Nana, so what Ghana, the president of the day, he has 2 terms, right? Members of parliament of the tenure, and they're limited. And I ask you, are you sure that the president and can all stay in office a much longer time to be able to do the things that the president would want to do? Remember, government, it's a continuing process. And so today you come in, you do your bit, you lay a strong foundation. The president of Ghana, he sees with running the entire country. You have to build roads, build schools, build hospitals, infrastructure, make sure that you help the football association to attract the APL sponsorship that we are getting, which is 1 million per each club. And in spite of all that, the president has only 8 years, which is 2 terms, to do all of this. Do you honestly believe that 8 years is enough for a certain president of the Republic of Ghana to achieve all of this? If yes, then how can you tell me that a subset of the economy, a subset of the entire nation, which is the Ghana Football Association, a president given 8 years cannot achieve so much? In any case, and this morning I listened to my good brother, a lawyer, Mandy, speak on this matter on another platform. And I agree with him. I've been having lots of discussions with the lawyer the whole of the weekend. We don't want it to seem as if that we are coming against any individual.
But Ralph, just before you go on, you mentioned Eloy, and for the records, does he still work at Karela?
Yes, he does.
And you do some work for Brekum Chelsea as well?
Exactly. That is so.
The General Secretary is also reported to have spoken on another network this morning, claiming that more clubs now, the RFAs and the Regional Football Association, namu propose deal na omo ankasa FA no.
Okay, so let me take your time a little bit back. In 2020, right, together with 43 other clubs, when I was the Regional Football Association chairman for Bronga Hassel, together with 43 other clubs, we made proposals for consideration, right? It was very, very expensive. We did a proposal of about 51. We're looking at about 51, clauses that we felt needed to be, touched on. We needed to delete certain portions, and it was a massive proposal that we had made to the Football Association for consideration. Now, when we sent same to the Football Association, we're told that same had to be sent to FIFA, which I found it very, very, very strange. I found it strange in the sense that we are a member association, a full-fledged as such. We were then not under the normalization. And so, for you to say that FIFA will have to kind of micromanage how football is run in this country, I found that to be very strange. To the extent that when the letter from FIFA came, I responded to that letter. I don't know whether it got to FIFA or not, but I never got a response to that. The point was that in that proposal for amendment, we did not talk about the tenure of presidency at all. We felt there were far more pressing issues that needed to be looked at. Now, I tell you what, in this very area, clubs are struggling to make money to run their clubs, to pay players decently. Say about 2 weeks ago, the federation came with a standard player contract. I have my own reservations.
Sure.
I think that we'll talk about that at another time. But to the extent that clubs are struggling, do you know that as it stands now, the club turn player, Oma FA no 10%. Have you asked yourself that is it in consonance with statute of FIFA or CAF? So these are some of the things that we should be looking at. We should be looking at how we can get more money for the clubs. We should be looking at how we can, as a football association, sit down and say that we have identified a problem statement of Ghana football. And it has to do with grassroots, it has to do with infrastructure, it has to do with how our stadia are unsafe, it has to do with how corporate Ghana have lost trust in us, how corporate Ghana is disinterested in us, it has to do with how our game, people are alleging that people are engaged in betting, it has to do with how our referees may not be performing to the level that we want them to perform. These are the things that we should be talking about at this moment in time. And to try and profess solution to some of these problems. It is not about how long you stay in office as a president. It is not about it. And in that case, Nana, let me tell you something. We came from normalization. 2019, we built a new statute for Ghana football. And it is the first time the statute is being used. The current president is not even done with his tenure of office. He's got about 2 more years to run, right? You are saying that, for which reason we must cook more for you.
But Ralph, there's no justification to suggest at this point, say, because the proposal is coming under his tenure, he automatically go for a third term.
We don't know yet. But if you have looked at the proposal which has been submitted, it does not even give when it is starting from. I have taken a very good look at it. It does not give any indication. All that it says is that the tenure of the president must increase to 3 terms. As to whether it is starting from now or it is starting from maybe 2020, post 2027, we are not even made aware of all of that. And so once you leave it, then the speculation will be that, oh, you want to benefit from same. But like I said, I don't want it to be a discussion which is centered on Mr. Okraku. He's a fine gentleman. I mean, anytime I meet him, we discuss Ghana football and all that. Let us sit with the argument well. Let us have a discourse which centers around as to whether at this material moment in time, you hear 3 times to make our football work. And like I said, there are more pressing issues that we should be looking at. Again, if you look at what has been proposed, we are talking about a second vice president of the Ghana Football Association who must necessarily be a woman before we can empower women's football. And I come to think of it.
It's not right to get a woman to be a GFA vice president through the constitution.
I am not saying a woman can be the FA president. A woman can be the and I'm saying that to make women football grow, you don't necessarily need a second vice who must necessarily be a woman. Tell me the Nigerian Football Federation, because of the way they've performed in Africa over the years, it's as a result of their second vice chairperson being a woman. Is that the case? It's not the case. And so, really, some of us can sit back and say that the attempt to, bring in things like a woman second vice president, it is only to garnish the whole thing. And that the focus really is on the tenure of office of the president. And indeed, the deletion of the transitional provision, right? In the 2020 proposal that we made to the Ghana Football Association, when I say the Bronga Regional Football Association, which is classified as a member of the Football Association. And I have my difficulty with that. That the regional football associations are now classified as members. So the Regional Football Association, Kumasi, Asante Kotoko, House of Folk are all considered as members of the Football Association. In my opinion, and in the opinion of the 43 other members who joined, they thought that things like the Regional Football Association should be the regional branch of the Ghana Football Association and not necessarily a fully fledged member of the Football Association. So those were the things that we were looking at. We're looking at principles of good governance. And we're thinking that, listen, by just making somebody run for 3 terms will not necessarily take you to where you want to get to. And that there are far more pressing issues that we should be concerned with. That is the argument at this point in time.
You don't believe that from our situation, the longer the person stays...
If I may.
All right.
We are saying that the 2019 statute has not been tested enough for us to say that we will need an extra term for a president to function properly. You get my point? You follow my argument?
The normalization by and cry you need soon.
That's 2019, and this is the first time it's been tested. It's the first time. This is the first time we have a president who is working under the 2019 statute. At least, and after the current administration, let another one come in. Let's get to about 3 presidents, and then as an association, we can sit back and say that what, we believe that we need a president to do more terms for us to be able to, for him to get us to the level that we want to get to. I think it's too early in the day for us to be thinking about increasing the tenure of the president. And like I said, this discussion is not about Mr. Okraku. It is about the fact that we want to increase the term of the presidency. And I don't think that it is something that we need at this point in time. We should be looking at other pressing issues, and that is what is going to get us to the level that we want to get our game to.
Wow. Lawyer Ralph Gyamerah, thank you very much for your insightful submission. But don't forget, you have a date with Max TV very soon.
Thank you for having me. I'll definitely show up.
We're grateful. You've really graced our show brilliantly. Nanedu, I'm all for intelligent. To Kojo Dimensa, Ralph Gyamerah, look at how these guys are expressing themselves.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nana?
Odesheba.
Assembly abroad. Emudo.
Are you do?
And I like Bibia. Mr. Kojade Efribano. Na me pe Bibia. Mr. Raf Gyamerah Efribano. Raf Gyamerah one person wa pass through the rounds. No, they will do some pen so we. Raf Gyamerah the type of people anka in the after obey a typical football in this country. Obey a regional football association chairman inka or headed towards either ESCO or FA presidency level. No. That is where Wafajana finds himself now.